All right, welcome everybody to the first of what are going to be two streams today. We are standing by for Donald Trump at the bottom of the hour for a very triggered press briefing. I expect Trump to be triggered about a lot of things, including the DNC. There's just so much. There's going to be a lot. Trump starting his cancel culture campaign against Goodyear Tire. Um, Earlier today, we will look at tweets. Can you tell? Do I look different? Because there's something very different today. I don't know if people can see it. I changed something up today for the streams. I've had it with the way we've been doing it. My earpiece is in my right ear. It's been in my left ear for the last several weeks. I just like to rotate it. I think it's good to do that. Okay. It's a rotation of 3, by the way, which is weird. That'll leave you guys to imagine what that means. Okay. Where to start today? Okay. Other memes, as I like to say. I did tweet this. This is a full credit to producer Pat. Producer Pat came up with this. I don't know if you guys have seen how Kaylee Maganani will do these tweets with these green check marks about all of Trump's accomplishments. So we did this one where everything Trump has succeeded at looking into it very strongly. And that's basically as far as we've gotten. So I just tweeted this. If people want to participate in a mass, wow, 300 likes in just a couple minutes. That's great. But anyway, this is my most recent tweet. You should be following me on Twitter at dpacman. And as many of you know, during the DNC streams, you've actually been able to take a peek behind the curtain and you've seen me craft tweets in real time. As I said yesterday, sometimes people wonder, how am I so mediocre on Twitter? I've given people a peek behind the curtain and shown you how I end up with so many mediocre tweets. Donald Trump also tweeting a few hours ago, don't buy Goodyear tires. They announced a ban on MAGA hats. Get better tires for far less. It's like, if he really believed Goodyear was offering subpar tires all along, why is he only now saying it? Like, if he's known Goodyear's tires aren't very good, he could have told us 5 years ago to get some different tire. This is what the radical left Democrats do. Two can play the same game, and we have to start playing it now. Okay, so I expect that there are going to be questions about that during today's press briefing. If you can protest in person, you can vote in person. What else? Something about drug. I don't even want to deal with that right now. Why are Republicans allowing the Democrats to have ridiculous post office hearings on Saturday and Monday just before the convention? Oh, my God. He's extremely, extremely triggered. So there's that. And so I assume that there will be questions about a lot of these things at the bottom of the hour. And then tonight, I'll be back at 8:40 p.m. Eastern time for night 3 of the DNC. Night 2 was better than night 1. And tonight we will be hearing from VP pick Kamala Harris. We'll be hearing from former U.S. President Barack Obama. So I'll be back at 8:40 tonight. And that'll be very, very exciting. I also want to say thanks to Judith Lynn, as well as Petunia Smith, who just grabbed memberships on my website. I haven't even pitched membership yet. People already getting memberships. And Quabidiaswans has subscribed for 2 months with Prime and says Pacman churns ideas others thought were simply unchurnable. That's exactly right. And I actually grilled an idea last week that a lot of people thought had gone bad, but I thought it was fine. I grilled it, didn't feel sick afterwards. It was perfect. Super chats are coming in. Imagination Arts Studio says, what are your thoughts on movie theaters reopening? Seems like a bad idea. Many states don't reduce capacity to 50%, and IMAX can seat up to and over 500 a showing. Yeah, seems like let's give it 4 more months. And we hopefully will be in better shape then. Micah Gelfand says, love your soy boy stream, Davey P. Man. Okay. Looks like we are about to get live video here from the press briefing room. Yes, it is. Extremely zoomed in video, but it is video nonetheless. Seth Barham says, are conservatives aware that by saying the Postal Service is a mess, they are conceding defeat on running government like a business? No. They are not aware of that. Chakoseki says Senate Intelligence report confirms bulging bloat boy Donald lied about Russia. Can we crowdsource him a shower cap for his Russian golden showers? Okay. Bay Photo says Trump needs to Goya way. If we vote him out, 2021 should be a good year, like Goodyear tire. I like that. Donna Williams asks, do I think Trump will be imprisoned once he leaves office and is charged for crimes? No, I do not believe he will. Antti Pikkarainen says, I like it when Trump sometimes accidentally uses non-racist terms for coronavirus and then quickly adds China virus. Yeah, that is funny. And Mark Cottage says, Trump is a train wreck, but people love to hear your commentary on him. Do you think your audience will decrease if he is ousted? Yes. Yes, people, I have been saying this for a long time. If Donald Trump loses in November, this show is over, okay? And we need to remove him in November. I am advocating for the destruction of this program by the elimination of Donald Trump. But in all seriousness, yeah, I think the next 4 years for the show, from the perspective of business, will be better if Trump wins. But it would be completely immoral to support Trump on that basis. So I believe that we should remove Trump, vote against Trump. It won't be that great for the show. But what I am here to tell you, whoa, these are coronavirus numbers. That's not what I wanted. We now, okay, I hope people are sitting down here. We are now projected to reach 1 million YouTube subscribers on October 29th, 70 days away. If we do this, this would be the fastest 100,000 subscriber gain that we have ever had. Okay. And we are currently, where are we right now? We are at 954. Wow, we just rolled over to 954. We are at 954,003,000. And on Twitch, we're also approaching 50,000. So listen, we've got to get the growth while we can do it, because if Biden wins, good for the country, bad for the David Pakman Show. I'm only half kidding, but it will be a different show, certainly, because we will be advocating for Biden to be more left than trying to remove this mango malignancy with which we find ourselves today. But very exciting, now on track for before Election Day. If we can keep it going, October 29th is when we are slated to hit 1 million YouTube subscribers, which is just absolutely fantastic. I don't know what else to say. And in the meantime, Ashlad has subscribed with Twitch Prime, as we now have a level 1 hype train that is happening. And, okay. I mean, I don't know what else to say. A few other things to look at. Here's a couple of clips from the last few days. Somebody clipped this and thought it was funny. Let's take a listen. If Trump loses, Fox is laying out a little bit of the groundwork. They're laying a little pipe, so to speak. Right. Okay. So somebody liked that one. That was good. And then here is one from my recent stream with Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bunnell II.
TV. I look forward to talking to you after a couple more nights of the DNC. Yeah.
All right. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye to Destiny's audience.
Yeah. See you later, D. Pakman's audience. Bye.
Wow. Wow. What a night. I mean, I couldn't imagine a better way to completely torpedo the evening than opening up the phone lines. I actually forgot that I had said that. I think I might have blacked or browned it out. But yeah, so that was quite an evening. That was night 1, of course, of the DNC. That's really all I have today as far as memes. I really didn't get that many. But remember, you can send me clips, videos of your pets watching the show. We got a few of those recently. Memes, graphics, images, photos, bingo, anything you want, you can send through the contact form at davidpakman.com. And then if it's even remotely good, like even mediocre memes make it onto the live streams. So just something to think about that you can feel free to do. Other super chats coming in. The vegan villainess, who's never seen Veganese she didn't like, says Goodyear stated they want to be apolitical, which is smart for business, something Trump will never understand. It's on the very long list of things Trump will never understand. Climate Changed says no matter who wins the election, this summer will be the coldest summer for the next 500 years. Sarang Sheth says, seems like politicians aren't afraid of the consequences of their actions anymore. Shouldn't they respect and fear the power of the people? What are your thoughts? Yeah, well, I mean, listen, if you're talking about the Trump administration, if they are never held accountable, why would they fear that there will be consequences when there never are? They wouldn't, which is why, we need to give Donnie Boy a consequence like he's a little kid. The consequence is voting him out. Micah Gelfand says, how do you sleep at night when you have so blatantly copied the Majority Report's background? I know, it's crazy. Per Tiran says, I would keep watching your show even if Bernie would be president. Love from Sweden. Thanks, Per. I knew I could count on you. Mark Raybold says, Republican convention lineup. Day 1, Scott Baio. Day 2, lady who says wearing a mask infringes on her First Amendment rights. Closing day, a can of Goya beans. I actually haven't looked. Do we know what the, let's see, RNC schedule lineup? I don't know if they've announced. Okay, there is an article here. Let's see what the RNC has announced. I'm actually curious. Okay. Monday to be announced. Okay. Tuesday, plug-in playbook, Foursquare. Okay, so it looks like they've not really announced anything yet. Let's see, RNC 2020 schedule. Let's see if there's anything on the wiki. Background, format, schedule. Here we go. Okay, so on Tuesday, Melania Trump will be speaking. The theme will be the land of promise. Oh my God. For day 1, I looked quickly. The theme is land of heroes. I thought it said land of herpes. I was like, that's a weird theme for day 1. I would wait until day 2 or 3 for that. Okay, day 1, theme is land of heroes. Nothing scheduled yet. Day 2, theme is land of promise. Melania Trump will be speaking. Day 3, the theme is land of opportunity. Mike Pence will be speaking. And Thursday will be the theme land of greatness. And Donald J. Trump will be speaking. So we basically nothing is scheduled yet. We just don't really know anything specifically. Okay. Guess we just have to wait. Thanks to Artistic Simplicity, B Nutzer Name, Eric the Viking, Sassy Siren, and Ansel for supporting on Twitch, where we are in the middle of a level 2 hype train. Touch Engage Media says, as a former resident of Zimbabwe, I've seen how fast deflation can hit a country. Given the current Fed-inspired bubble, when do you think it will pop and why? Assuming that in the next 6 months the virus gets under control, I don't believe it will pop. And I have a few clips explaining why on my YouTube channel. David Q says, can you please sing for us? No. Chris says, what are your thoughts on Uber suspending service in California? Haven't seen it. Have a bookmarked article to read about it. Han Joby says, change your YouTube name to The David Pakman Show. Every late night talk show host has "the" in their YouTube name. David Pakman Show sounds amateur hour. I believe our URL is youtube.com/The David Pakman Show. I believe it is. And Chakaseki says, will Trump be manic and sweating more than Cardi B's WAP, or be down, dry, and desiccated like Ben Shapiro's wife? Chakaseki's on fire today. I think I need Chakaseki to... Chakaseki seems like a clever writer. What I need is, I have 4 monitors here. I need a 5th monitor just off line of sight, where in real time, Chakaseki can put jokes up on the screen for me and clever lines, and I can deliver them as if I'm that creative. I think that would be useful. Okay. Big thank you to Daniel Turner, who's new member number 3 today, and Gwen Corey. Gwen is new member number 4 today. During the convention streams, we've had a huge goal of 50. But we're keeping it modest at 25 during this live stream, even though I don't know why we get like 2 times as many viewers during these live streams than the convention. But, That's a story for a different day, I guess. Matt Chavez says, great thoughty to video on how masks work on YouTube. Oh my God, I can't parse the grammar. Great thoughty to video. I don't know. On how masks work on YouTube, uploaded today. If anyone wants to share with their COVID denying uncle or just to share. Okay. Michael Hecken says, you freed us from the worst dictator. Sorry we can't help you now to free you from this idiot. Best from Berlin, Germany. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Neutral Music says, thoughts on the gun-toting couple from St. Louis speaking at the RNC? I think they might as well have a hologram of Roger Ailes. So I heard that the gun-toting couple was going to speak at the RNC, but I've not confirmed it. Can anybody tell me if that's actually true? If the St. Louis gun-toters are speaking at the RNC? If so, I mean, we deserve very bad things as a country if that's happening. Leica says, hello, Sam Cedar fans. Glad you came over to subscribe. My thoughts exactly. Nobody really seems to know for sure if that couple is speaking. People have heard it. Okay. Lagavulin has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Dog Boy has subscribed with Prime. Cardboard Alpaca has subscribed with Prime. And Floofs has also subscribed with Prime. Oh, Matt Chavez says Thoughty2 is the channel's name. Okay. All right. I apologize. I haven't heard of that. Whoa. John Roberts out of nowhere right here, wearing a perfectly white mask. That's maybe a signal that the live stream is going to be starting soon. We are, by the way, in the 15th anniversary year of the David Pakman Show. I know that it's redundant to say the 15-year anniversary, but what I mean is this year is the 15th anniversary of the show. And in fact, the exact date is August 23rd, which is Sunday. We are trying to set a single month record for new members in this month. So if you've been appreciating the streams and all of the different content, if you've been with us on the race to 1 million subscribers, all of the stuff, consider grabbing a membership at joinpacman.com. All the info is right above my head. I believe that the normal prices are more than reasonable, but if you don't, which is fine, you can get a 66% discount off of a membership using the coupon code 2020NOW. That'll chop $6 a month to $2 a month. If you pay for the entire year, it's like $1.83 a month, okay? If you don't think this and everything we do is worth $1.83 a month, then I respectfully disagree with you. And that's it. That's fine. But if you do think it's worth it and you're doing okay financially, I don't want anybody's last dollar. Okay. I've made that clear. Consider grabbing a membership. Membership is our primary funding source. And I've made the case before, and it's all very, very exciting. And the website, by the way, very powerfully handling all of the website traffic today. We were hacked last week, as many of you would remember, during a stream. It was ugly. But, we fixed it. Okay. Richard Burris says, what's your take on Trump and UAE Israel deal helping his chance at a second term? God forbid. I don't think anybody will remember it 10 days from now. I think it'll be a non-factor. David L says, good luck in PogChamps 2. Yes, my first PogChamps 2 matchup is Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I will be playing against the streamer who goes by the name Itzhafu or Shafu. I believe it's Hafu. 6 p.m. East. 6 p.m. East, 3 p.m. West. And that will be Friday. So I hope you will join me. That will be my first game. I believe I will have the black pieces to start. And then in the second game, I will play with the white pieces. Cyrus Palmer says, thanks for all you do, David. Keep it up. Micah Gelfin says, I apologize for my previous slightly childish super chats. Real question. What are your thoughts about Biden-Harris running hard on competence, character, and emotion versus more of a policy-based pitch? I think given the circumstances, it makes a lot of sense. That's my sense of it right now. Amy Gray sends a $50 super chat. Dixon Side says, what's the groupie scene like for sub-million YouTubers. It's a pretty powerful scene. Yeah, it's big. It's very, very big. Nasty Questions says, I just watched my Cameo birthday video from you. Shout out to Kelly for the best birthday gift ever. I will continue to watch your show regardless of the president. Thank you for everything you do. Congrats on 1 million. Yes, I got booked on Cameo by Kelly to send this user who goes by the name Nasty Questions a birthday greeting. And I did it. I did it last week. Kiosk Skate Shop says, my screen name on my iPhone, my screen time on my iPhone will be reduced if Trump loses. It will be nice not to have to charge the damn phone all the time. I hear you. Chef's Pawn says, do you think there's anything Trump could say that would show his base that he is not as smart as he thinks? What would that be? Nah, there's people in Trump's base that are committed to the idea of Trump as some kind of prodigy, some kind of genius. And some of those folks, there's just no way that their minds will be changed. People asking about the Alex Morse interview. It did happen today. You can already hear it on today's podcast, and the standalone YouTube clip will be published a little bit later. It was very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Luke Stevens has grabbed a YouTube membership. _door says New Zealand has introduced a contact tracing app. Has the U.S. done the same? No. If not, should they? Yes. Simple questions there. Jenna Nix says, one of my oldest memes of your show was the 2012 video where you were wearing winter clothes. Happy 15. Thanks for your work and dry sense of humor. Yeah, there was a day back in actually, it couldn't have been 2012 because that happened in New York and we weren't in New York until 2013. But yeah, there was a day where the heat was off in our studio in New York City and I wore like a puffy coat and a few other elements of warming. Although I don't remember, maybe I had a hat or it might have been full gloves. I don't remember. Someone's asking me over on Twitch if I'm going to be on the Train Wrecks Scuffed podcast. I have no clue what that is. I don't know. I'm aware that nobody's invited me to that. I think I would remember that name, but I have no idea what that is. Thanks to Prior Guy for subscribing on Twitch. Very much appreciate that. Website memberships are exploding. Look at this. Okay. Fernando Apalategui is new member number 5 today. Jason Ellis is new member number 6. Johnny Finley is number 7. Alex Waddle is number 8. Per Gvalvik is number 9. And Ethan Hewitt is number 10. I believe it's 4 members with the first name Per. And of course, we have Per Tiran, who is regularly sending super chats from Sweden. As far as I knew, all prior members named Per were Swedish. But, that could be wrong. I don't know. Johnny Lasagna Gaming said, whoa, where did that go? Johnny Lasagna Gaming has been watching every day since October of 2016. Full and bonus shows somehow never got to be new member of the day. Okay, well, I'm going to look into that. I don't know if Lasagna is your proper last name, but I can look into that. Azar says New Zealand went from 1 case to 9 cases. Somebody tell Trump it's a 900% increase. Right, that's when the numbers are so small, it's not so relevant. Percentages are less relevant. Danny Thompson says, David, you need a lifetime membership option on your website for a one-time payment of $99 or something that makes sense to you. I'm in. So we actually did, when we did an Indiegogo campaign, Indiegogo similar to Kickstarter, I don't know if they're still around, I believe it was 2015, we offered lifetime memberships for $1,500. And I believe 2 people did it. I don't think we would do lifetime for $99. And there's some math behind why, and it has to do with what we call the lifetime value of a member. But I don't want to go all like, MBA on everybody all of a sudden here. But $99 would not be we would be taking a lot of money off the table if we did a $99 lifetime membership. Johnny Minogue says Rhode Island casting their delegates over spicy calamari was the most amazing moment of last night. We love our southern neighbors. Yes, calamari, I mean, just it's a delightful dish. It's a delightful dish. Donna Williams says, David, why do you think Trump won't be prosecuted? Because this is not a country that prosecutes former presidents. And I'm not saying Trump doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying he won't be. And if we want to hold him accountable, it's voting him out and embarrassing him with a just overwhelming loss in November. Anybody saying we're really going to get ours when Trump gets carried out, taken out in handcuffs, it's not going to happen. I just don't see it. Okay, I'm being told Trump just tweeted an update about scheduling. We'll be having a press conference at 5:45. See you in 15. Okay, well, hopefully that happens. Zilly Doe has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Let me thank a few other new members. Whoa, hold on a second. Jennifer Baker is new member number 11 today. Armin Guler is new member number 12. Aquatic Llamas is new member number 13. And Maurice O'Neill is new member number 14 today at joinpacman.com. Also, Travis Leiser is new member number 15. Wow. The website's really holding up, which I'm glad to see. Okay. Dan Alley. Where's Dan Alley? Wait a second. Dan Alley says, David, I saw a Trump is just Jesus in jeans bumper sticker and wanted others to feel my pain. Any nausea medication recommendations are welcome. That is vile. That's a vile bumper sticker. Underscore Door says, what do you think of the NRA lawsuit? Legal Eagle did an interesting video on it. Did not see, unable to comment. Jenna Nick says, I meant 2012 end of the world live video. Okay. Tony2XH says, with a 500 Swedish kroner super chat, I think that's about $50 right now. Get rid of this fool as president. Sweden and EU is laughing at this idiot. Love to all of you in the US with some common sense. Love your channel. Tony the Butcher. Tony the Swedish Butcher, maybe. TR01150NG5 says Alabama launched a contact tracing app on the 3rd. That's great news. Jake says, does Trump play Honkers Unlimited? I don't know what that means. People are signing up. NH Bone says, David, will the Republicans step in on Trump's war against the post office? Well, Louis DeJoy announced he was stopping further manipulation of the post office. The question is, has the damage already been done in enough blue states that they've done what they need to do? And we're screwed anyway. So I did a story about that today. I think we need to be very careful about the pronouncement from Louis DeJoy that he's not going to make any more changes. He may have already made the changes that he needs to make. Zesty African says, from the standpoint of doing the most testing, what Biden-era policy are you more excited for? Hope all is well. Well, listen, I'm with Noam Chomsky in that Biden's climate platform is the most progressive we've ever had. So I'm very interested in that, just to pick something. Lionel Ziblatt says, waiting for the elections to save us was a mistake. Trump should have been removed, not voted out. He can and will sabotage the election. I don't disagree. I just don't know that we have any other opportunity at this point. People asking, is this the only stream today? No. I will be back with everybody tonight. In fact, 3 hours from now to the minute, I will be back with DNC Night 3. DNC Night 3. Tonight, we will hear from Kamala Harris. We will also be hearing from Barack Obama tonight. So yeah, I will be back with you guys, and that will be really great. I already did an update on the race to 1 million. We are now projected to reach 1 million YouTube subscribers on October 29th. If you want to help, this is free. I'm selling you nothing. If you're watching on YouTube, there's 12,000 of you watching on YouTube right now. Just hit the subscribe button. That's it. That's it. That's it. Not, just hit the subscribe button. We could get to 955. We're at 954 and change. We could instantly get to 955,000 subscribers. If just 800 of you hit that subscribe button, there's 12,000 watching, and then it will be onward and upward to 960. So just think about it, smash it, destroy it, dissolve it, crush that subscribe button. Oh, and Hillary Clinton tonight as well. Yes, as people are pointing out. We will be seeing that tonight. Okay. Lulu Girl is a new subscriber at the Soy Boy level. Year of the Cat says, any country serious about China virus response has done all that Trump has done as a bare minimum, aka New Zealand and Australia. Of course. Of course. I call it coronavirus, not China virus. Rad Willie says, calling it now, opening schools is going to cause another spike in 2 weeks. Of course. We're already seeing it. No question about that whatsoever. Nicholas Gurr, I know that one, so I'm not going to fall for that one. Nicholas Gurr says DP slams Sam Cedar to 1 million subscribers. Michael Blanco says, you think the House Oversight Committee questioning DeJoy will have any impact or will be a bunch of grandstanding with no action taken? Again, DeJoy has agreed to stop modifications until the election for post office service, but I believe he probably has already done what he needs to do to help Donald Trump, so it may not be relevant in the end. Waka Santana says, how do you think the Republican establishment will react to Trump losing if he loses? They will just go back to being the Republicans we knew them to be prior to Trump. I think things sort of tend to return to the mean. I wouldn't expect anything too crazy. I want to say thank you to Jinger for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thumb Duke, Buttload of Butts, has subscribed on Twitch. Critma has subscribed with Prime. So has Shari, or Shari as well. Appreciate that. Solar says, what's the over-under on Trump lies during this conference tonight? I would expect Trump could easily get through 250 lies during today's press briefing for sure. 250, Trump can do in his sleep. Oh boy, phone's going crazy here. Joan Brissett has signed up. BK says, love your live react. Thoughts on AOC's speech at DNC? I thought it was fine. I didn't really find myself reacting very strongly to it. Didn't think much of it one way or the other, but it was fine. Robert Sundin has signed up. David Q says, who would you pick for debate if you were granted 1 hour of their time and on what subject? I have no idea. I'm terrible at questions like that. Aquatic Llamas says, I work in the airlines and this coronavirus stuff is absolutely brutal. What was the second airline bailout about, if you've heard about it? Have not heard about it. Kumar says, having Hillary on shows the Dems didn't change a bit and may likely lose the election. The Dems need to part ways with the Clintons. Not a unique perspective. I've been hearing that from a bunch of people. The Dude says Hillary needs to crawl back under whatever rock she's been hiding under. She has done enough already by dawn 2020. Cinnamon Beard, Atahios, Darka Saran have subscribed on Twitch with Twitch Prime. Why do I struggle with Twitch usernames so much? It's crazy. Emily Swoboda has subscribed on YouTube. So has Feisty Fan, which I very much appreciate. This was, if you're just joining us, you've not missed anything other than memes. This was originally scheduled for 5:30. Donald Trump tweeted moments, 15 minutes ago, that he was 15 minutes away from the start. And we are now standing by for this press briefing. We expect questions about Trump calling for a Goodyear boycott. I expect, so there were people tweeting me, do we think it's going to be upper Trump or downer Trump? Is it Sudafed Trump or benzodiazepine Trump? For some reason, I think Trump's going to be hopped up today. It's been low energy Trump for a little while, but Monday, Tuesday, he had these sort of proto rallies in different places. And I think Trump's going to come out firing today. A lot of all caps tweets today also makes me think Trump is going to come out hot. He's going to be coming in hot. That's my prediction. Let me say a few other new member thank yous because they are getting very explosive. Otto Koo is new member number 15. William Joyner's number 16 today. Judy Harris is number 17. Nina Finch is number 18. And Patrice Walker is new member number 19 today. Very much appreciate that. Let's see here. Ryan Nicholson asks, where do you think the UK-US special relationship will go if Trump gets a second term? Well, I don't think it will be as bad as it would be with a normal British prime minister, because Boris is just wacky enough that it'll probably be somewhat of a normal relationship. But if Trump got another 4 years and the UK had a normal prime minister, it would be a dramatic breakdown in relationship for sure. James Acosta has retracted a message. Carl says, is there actually beef with you and Sam? No. Kind of triggering your more credulous fans like me. You know, I was texting with Sam the other day and I was saying, no matter how many times I say that the entire beef is a joke, people still email me furious about the whole thing. They're taking it seriously. And Sam said, yeah, me too. He's also getting emails, but it's just a joke, guys. We're kidding around, you know. There's no need to email me. Everything's okay. Johnny Kane says, have you heard about Texas backlog cases? Over 7,000 lost positives being reported since Sunday in Dallas County alone. I did read about that. You know, no surprise. Pac-Man's little bot wants to know when the next chess tournament is. Not for a while, because I'm training for PogChamps 2. And I also, the tournament starts on Friday. So at least until probably it'll be September. The PogChamps ends in early September. So I may do the tournament. What I actually may do is, we've decided at the show, we will be taking a mental health break for a week in the middle of September. So once we're past the conventions, but before the debates, because I'm not going to miss those debates. You can be sure about that. In the middle, we're going to take a week off. And during that week off, I may just do a chess tournament for fun. So I'll let you guys know about that. Keith Stone says, have you covered Brett Weinstein's Unity 2020 recently? Yeah, I've gotten 5 questions about it. Sounds interesting to think about, not for 2020. I mean, it's going to be Trump or Biden, and the election, people are about to start voting in a few weeks in some states. So it's not super interesting to me right now. But, you know, we can talk about it for 2024, one step at a time. Thomas Ganter says Germany financed an open source. Hold on a second. Germany financed and open sourced a tracing app months ago. It even sports multiple languages. CDC should grab it off GitHub. Yeah, that's not happening. Just it seems like you're German. You may not understand how things function here, but that's not going to happen. Matty Ice says, I've never been more embarrassed, David. Come back, calamari. Hope all is well otherwise. Cheers, everyone. Chauncey Jones has signed up. Chef's Pawn says, in your opinion, is the damage Trump has done to America be fixed? Is the damage Trump has done to America be fixed? Can it be fixed, I think you mean? If so, how do we fix it other than just voting? Well, it's voting, but not just for president. It's at the local level as well. I must have a dozen clips about how to affect change in our communities, so I encourage you to check those out. Jacob Ball just came in out of nowhere with a $50 super chat saying, Pac-Man said the beef is fake, but Cedar says not to trust Pac-Man, so it must be real. Okay, not bad. Big Bro Cook is firing a shot across the bow with the message, hashtag majority to a million. Listen, I said before, this is not zero sum. You can subscribe to me and to Sam Cedar. It's not, there's no reason it has to be one or the other. And we are, wow. Somehow we've got 14,000 people watching, but only 200 are, I'm wondering, are there people watching on YouTube who are not already subscribers? What I'm trying to figure out is whether the live streams are hitting mostly existing subscribers. I'm going to check the YouTube chat momentarily here. For whatever reason, YouTube is always about 15 seconds delayed beyond Twitch. I've never figured out why, because it's beyond me. But let's see what people have to say. A lot of Yoseminites. Okay. Wow, big delay. Big delay. Oh my goodness. People are bots. A lot of weird stuff. Okay, it seems a lot of people don't know if they're subscribed or not. Okay, well, that's weird. Weird, but I can't do much about it, so we will continue. Also, by the way, there are 1,600 people watching on Facebook, and because I have no like chat system with Facebook, I often forget about you guys. I appreciate you guys as well. And the streams have actually been doing pretty well on Facebook, and there are 1,600 people. There's more people watching on Facebook than on Twitch. It's just too bad that the Facebook interface doesn't really lend itself to the type of interaction that, modern users of the internet sort of take for granted at this point. All right, let's continue seeing what else is on people's minds. Thanks to Sound Doctor and Jack Attack, as well as the Silent One and Luigi Gesualdo for subscribing with, oh my God, 3 minutes later now. People, do we have a 3-minute delay on YouTube? That is insane. Thanks to everybody subscribing on Twitch. It looks like they are getting ready here for Donald Trump. They're pointing the camera towards the door, if nothing else. So we are probably very, very close. John Howell says via Super Chat that the David Pakman Show is worth more than $1.83. That's good. Feisty Fan asks what this press briefing is about. I have no idea. Literally no idea. Jacob Ball, we got to already. Rockwell says Trump continues to imply China attack the U.S. If he believes that, why has he not made any official declaration of war with China? What are your thoughts? Who knows what Trump really believes? Marisa Derry says, what are your feelings on candidates that support QAnon theories being elected when Trump does not win? Will the stench of this administration stay? Yes. And in fact, remember, if Trump gets 62 million votes and loses in November, we still have 62 million people who voted for Trump that we have to deal with in this country, right? They're not going away. And so that is a big, big problem regardless. Amy says we need to vote and take over the Senate with a good margin. Yes. And keep the House margin. With that, if Trump wins, he's impeached and removed. There's the possibility that Trump could be impeached again. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just work on removing Donald Trump. I think that's the way to go. Jacob Ball back again. Perhaps the boys are confusing your numbers. I don't even know what that means. F-Dub says hashtag cold feet cedar. BK says, Trump today feel bigly, Goodyear bad, post orifices, or, sad. Trump self-talk 1 minute before sniffing to the podium. Oh, boy. I don't even know what that's about. Jamie McLean says, I've just realized I'm not subscribed. I thought I was, as I got recommended every day for the past couple of months. I am now with notifications. Yes, please check if you're watching on YouTube. Is the subscribe button enabled? If it is, it means you're not subscribed, and you can very powerfully press that button. And I honestly, my goal is with this stream and with the DNC Night 3 stream, we could actually get to 960,000 subscribers by midnight. It's possible. It's a stretch goal, as we say in the biz. But it actually could happen. That's how crazy what's going on, right? That's how explosive the situation is. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go to Trump. Here he is coming in. Let's take a listen. Oh, boy.
Thank you very much. Before I provide an update on our continued progress against the China virus, I'd like to discuss our latest actions against the Iranian regime. Today, I'm directing the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, to notify the UN Security Council that the United States intends to restore virtually all of the previously suspended United Nations sanctions on Iran. It's a snapback, not uncommon. 2 years ago, I withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, which was a product of the Obama-Biden foreign policy failure.
They adhered to it.
A failure like few people have seen in terms of the amount of money we paid for absolutely nothing and a short-term deal. This deal...
Remember, Iran didn't violate the deal. There was no reason to bail on it.
To Iran, $150 billion to be exact, plus $1.8 billion in cash, which I don't know that the president had the authority to give, but gave $1.8 billion in cash. Just another great deal that turned out to be a total disaster that would have funded all of the chaos and the bloodshed and the terror in the region and all throughout the world. And I won't say anything because I don't like saying it, but Iran doesn't have so much money to give to the world anymore, to the terrorists, to give to Al-Qaeda and various other groups of people that they were funding. They have to keep their own regime together, and it's not easy for them. And
Okay.
if and when I win the election, within the first month, Iran will come to us, and they are going to be asking for a deal so quickly because they are doing very poorly. But that deal was a disaster. $150 billion, $1.8 billion in cash.
Now, why can't he just do the deal now? Why didn't he do it last year or the year before?
Deal, a short term, expiring. It's starting to expire already. It's terminated, but it would have, if we didn't terminate it, start to expire very shortly.
Incoherent.
A good deal was the deal we made with UAE and Israel. And by the way, other countries, I will tell you now, want to come into that deal. Countries that you wouldn't even believe want to come into that deal.
Correct. We don't believe it.
And all of a sudden, you're going to have peace in the Middle East. And you couldn't have done it with this ridiculous Iran nuclear deal, as they call it, that President Obama made, along with Sleepy Joe Biden. I imposed the toughest ever sanctions on Iran. And this has caused great difficulty for them, giving money to terrorist organizations. And if they do, they'll have hell to pay. Earlier this year, I ordered the strike that took out the world's #1 terrorist, Qasem Soleimani,
Okay. Still
in
can't
addition
pronounce that
to
one.
previously terminating leader and founder of ISIS,
Oh my God.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Where is that coming from? Oh, sorry.
The two leading terrorists by far in the
Sorry.
world. The founder of ISIS, nobody even talks about that. And we also defeated, we now have 100% of the ISIS caliphate in Syria. When I took over, it was a mess. It was a total mess. It was, they were all over the place. My administration will not allow this Iran nuclear situation to go on. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
So understand what's going on. Trump's trying to take back the narrative to seem presidential and to seem tough and to pretend like the country's not falling apart.
To the Iran deal, it was clear that the United States would always have the right to restore the UN sanctions that will prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. We paid a fortune for a failed concept and a failed policy, a policy that would have made it impossible to have peace in the Middle East. Here at home, through Operation Legend, we are confronting the wave of crime in Democrat-run American cities. That's absolutely shocking. When you look at...
It's funny. Trump's like, things are terrible in cities now. Re-elect me for 4 more years.
Sometimes Los Angeles, Democrat-run cities, they're a mess because they don't get it. Either they don't get it or there's something that nobody else understands. We've deployed more than 1,000 additional federal agents to help these Democrat-run disasters. We just have done this. We have to give them a hand. And we can stop it immediately, like Portland would be so easy to stop. We'd stop it immediately. We only sent in some Homeland people who are great, by the way, to save the courthouse because it would have been blown up or burned down. And they did that very easily. But if we were called upon, we would send in whether it's Homeland, whether it's FBI. Whether,
guys, what the hell is he talking about?
And we'd send them in quickly. We would eradicate it just like happened in Minneapolis. As soon as they were called in, they should have been called in a lot sooner. You would have had far less damage. Today we announced that Operation Legend has successfully resulted in nearly 1,500 arrests already. Bad ones, really bad people. Prosecutions and prison sentences will follow, and they'll be a very long time in prison for what they've done to these cities. Most cities are well run. Most of the nation is well run. And the areas that we're talking about are all, in all cases, run by Democrats, usually radical left-leaning Democrats, like in New York or in Portland. We've made arrests in Kansas City, Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Memphis, and Albuquerque for many violent crimes, including gun crimes, arson, and 91 murders. We're also using the full power of the federal government to defeat, as you know, the China virus. New cases have declined in 80% of the jurisdictions in the past week. 80%. New Zealand, by the way, had a big outbreak.
They have 9 cases.
And other
the other day.
countries that were held up to try and make us look not
See
as
how
good
we're
as
winning,
we should
guys?
look, because we've done an incredible job, but they're having a lot of outbreaks, but they'll be able to put them out, and we put them out. The hospitalization rate has fallen in our country, 54% since its peak in April, 54%. Older Americans are still the most vulnerable to the virus. 92% of deaths have occurred among those 55 and older. Only 2.7% of deaths have occurred among those 44 years. Think of that, 44 years and younger. So 44 years old and younger, only 2.7% of deaths have occurred. And many of those people
He doesn't know
had
what he's reading.
pre-existing conditions, they had problems, heart, diabetes, and other problems, but many of those. So think of that, only 2.7% under 44 years of age. Excess mortality in Europe this year is 33% higher than the United States.
That's a crazy the math of that comparison is crazy.
Nations. South Korea, you've been reading about South Korea doing well. Well, they just had a very big breakout, but they'll be able to solve the problem. We must all remain vigilant and continue to exercise extreme caution around those at highest risk. As we know, multiple colleges and universities announced that they would suspend in-person teaching. Now, we have learned one thing. There's nothing like campus. There's nothing like being with the teacher as opposed to being on a computer board. It's been proven a lot better. It's a lot better. The
200
iPads
cases.
are wonderful, but you're not going to learn
By the way, what
same
the hell
way
is
you
a
do by
computer
being
board?
there. So, nevertheless, certain colleges and universities have announced that they would suspend the in-person teaching. For older people and individuals with underlying conditions, the China virus is very dangerous, but for university students, the likelihood of severe illness is less than or equal to the risk of a seasonal flu. And the seasonal flu happens and comes and it goes, and
Anybody else feeling confident seeing this?
but people don't talk about it in the same way, and they shouldn't. But if you look at that, the odds are less than or equal to. Instead of saving lives, the decision to close universities could cost lives. It is significantly safer for students to live with other young people than to go home and spread the virus to older Americans.
Not if you're quarantining and being responsible.
And the shutdown thing is causing tremendous depression for those places that are still shut down. You look at certain areas that, in all cases, Democrat run, still shut down, and their numbers there aren't even good, but causing tremendous depression, suicide, drugs, alcohol, abuse. A lot of problems are being caused. Probably far more, I would say, Scott, than is caused by the virus itself, now that we understand the virus.
Completely untrue.
Colleges should take reasonable precautions. Students who feel sick should not attend class and should limit social interaction
Oh.
as they would for any other illness. And universities should implement measures to protect.
Imagine living in a country with a real leader and then someone says, hey, Watch an hour of this for a moment. What do you think those people are thinking?
In high-risk settings and to prevent transmission, period, but especially in nursing homes and to care for the vulnerable and our elderly, which
Someone's
really
got a
fit
cough
into
there.
that definition of who is vulnerable. We have tremendous unused testing capacity in our country. We have a tremendous unused
And
testing.
yet it still takes 5 to 7 days to get results.
A lot of other nations are very impressed with, they tell us. In our path forward, we will continue to follow a science-based approach to protecting the high risk while enabling healthy Americans to safely go back to work and school. Our country will be open. Our country is getting open quickly. Our stock markets are almost back to where they were prior to the China virus disaster coming in. And I want to thank you all for being here, and we'll take some questions. Yeah, please.
Wow.
During the pandemic, the QAnon movement appears to be gaining a lot of followers. Can you talk about what you think about that and what you have to say to people who are following this movement right now?
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much, which I appreciate. But I don't know much about the movement. I have heard that it is gaining in popularity, and from what I've heard, these are people that when they watch the streets of Portland, when they watch what happened in New York City in just the last
likes
6
them.
or 7 months, but this was starting even 4 years ago when I came here, almost 4 years.
So
Can
what
you
he hears,
believe
he
it?
likes.
These are people that don't like seeing what's going on in places like Portland and
Right.
places like Chicago and New York and other cities and states. And I've heard these are people that love our country and they just
Wow.
don't like seeing it.
He's endorsing
So
QAnon.
I don't know really anything about it other than
He likes them.
they do supposedly like me, and they also would like to see problems in these areas, like especially the areas that we're talking about, go away, because there's no reason the Democrats can't run a city. And if they can't, we will send in all of the federal, whether it's troops or law enforcement, whatever they'd like. We'll
Question
send
was
them in,
about
we'll straighten
QAnon.
out their problem in 24 hours or less. Okay?
Well, just real quick, at the crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does
wow.
that sound like something
You're doing?
you are behind? Or
Well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing?
I knew it.
If I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put
Oh my
myself out
God.
there, and we are actually. We're saving the world from a
Oh, he's saying he's
radical
doing.
left
He needs to be
philosophy
institutionalized.
that will destroy this country, and when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow.
Wow.
The rest of the world would follow. That's the importance of this country. And when you look at some of the things that these people are saying with
He hasn't heard about the fact that he's saving the world from a ring of pedophilia, but it sounds good to him.
everybody just pour right into our country. No testing, no nothing. You know, you talk about testing, no testing. Mexico, as you know, has a very high rate of infection. The wall is now going to be next week 300 miles long. Our numbers are extraordinary on the border. Had that, and this is through luck, perhaps, more than talent, although the talent is getting it built when one party refuses to allow it. You don't hear talk about the wall anymore. But I will say this, we need strength in our country.
Question was about QAnon, remember?
Much weakness. Yes, John.
Mr. President, you have been very bullish on the promise of convalescent plasma
Yeah.
to treat coronavirus. The FDA appeared to be on the brink of issuing an emergency use authorization for convalescent plasma, but
Please call
after
it
hearing
plasma.
from top officials at the NIH that there wasn't enough evidence to go ahead with that, the FDA has put that on pause. Your reaction to that, and do you believe that convalescent plasma should be in
He's
the
goading
arsenal
him
of
to say
treatments for
plasma.
Well, I hear
coronavirus?
great things about it, John. That's all I can tell you. And it could be a political decision because you have a lot of people over there that don't want to rush things because they want to do it after November 3rd. And you've heard that one before. But I've heard fantastic things about convalescent plasma. And I've heard numbers way over 50%
There's number one.
success. and people are dying, and we should have it approved if it's good. And I'm hearing it's good. I heard from people at the FDA that it's good. So we'll see. I'm going to check that right after this conference.
My understanding that the White House will encourage the NIH and the FDA to get this out there as quickly as
Well, if
possible.
the numbers are as good as I'm hearing, I mean, I'm hearing over 50%,
Plasma.
and that's very good. And we've approved certain things are at 31%, and that's okay too. That's not bad, and it's really had a tremendous
Decivir.
impact. No, I have. You're telling me something right now that surprises me, but we'll check it out right after this.
Concerned about a delay?
I don't want delays. I don't want people dying. I don't want people dying. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, I want to ask you about your tweet earlier today on Goodyear. It was essentially calling for a boycott on Goodyear tires. Do you want the federal government to stop buying and using Goodyear product as well? And is there
Well, I'm
anything?
not happy with Goodyear because what they're doing is playing politics. And the funny thing,
Hey, you know what I want to do? Let's just switch here so we can
We'll
see
check
the
it out right
reporters,
after
okay?
this.
Concerned about a delay?
I don't want delays. I don't want people dying. I don't want people dying. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, I want to ask you about your tweet earlier today on Goodyear. It was essentially calling for a boycott on Goodyear tires. Do you want the federal government to stop buying and using Goodyear product as well? And is there
Well, I'm
anything?
not happy with Goodyear because what they're doing is playing politics. And the funny thing is the people that work for Goodyear, I can guarantee you, I poll very well with all of those great workers in Goodyear. And
Like the
when they
boaters.
say that you can't have Blue Lives Matter, you can't show a blue line, you can't wear a MAGA hat, but you can have other things that are.
Goodyear just banned political items.
There's something wrong with the top of Goodyear. And what the radical left does is they make it impossible for people to do business if they're Republican or if they're conservative. They put out all sorts of effort, don't shop there. They do vicious things, not so different than what you saw on the streets of Portland 2 nights ago.
Very different.
Boycott do you
Oh,
envision?
I don't know. That's up to people, but I wouldn't recommend it. If they want to hold political speech, if they want to let you not do what everybody's doing, if they want to wear a MAGA hat or if they want to wear a Blue Lives, you know what Blue Lives Matter, right? That's policemen and women.
Oh, okay.
That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. So they're using their power over these people, and these people want to wear whatever it is that we're talking about. You know that. And so I would be very much in favor if people don't want to buy there. And you know what? They'll be able to get a good job because we set a jobs record over the last quarter, as you know. The most jobs ever.
Wait, people don't want to buy or people don't want to work? What is he talking about now?
I think it's disgraceful that they did this. Please, go ahead. With that.
Yes, Mr. President, you've said that the arrest of Jimmy Lai in Hong Kong is, quote, a terrible thing. Do you have a message for Jimmy Lai? Has your administration spoken directly with him? Is your State Department working for his release?
Well, I send him best wishes. I hear he's a wonderful gentleman.
Is that Epoch
He's
Times?
certainly a brave man, and I send him best wishes. With that being said, because of that, and obviously what happened in Hong Kong, we've taken all of the vast amounts of money that we used to subsidize Hong Kong. We essentially subsidized Hong Kong by giving them all sorts of incentives.
Wow.
And that's what made Hong Kong, the exchange and business in Hong Kong successful. I've taken it all back. That means that the United States is going to do a lot more business. You know, we really gave them tremendous incentive and subsidy in order that they be successful for freedom.
Wow.
But now that the freedom obviously seems to have been taken away, we will keep all of the
He has no idea
incentives
what
that
he's
we were
talking
giving
about.
them, which is billions
Just
and
have no
billions of
idea.
dollars. And all of that business will come into our country, including the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, and
NASDAQ.
it'll all come here. But I feel badly for him because I hear he's a good person. I don't know him, but I hear he's a good person, obviously a very brave person. Did you have something? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. With the Iraqi Prime Minister coming in tomorrow, what about
Say it.
Oh my God.
the Iraqi Prime Minister is coming in
Oh,
tomorrow
yeah.
to meet with you, and how do you feel about this notion that Iraq can once again become the buffer between Iranian influence and
He has
Russian
no idea.
influence in the Middle East? Do
He
you
has no
feel
idea.
that under this Prime Minister that's possible once again? What are your thoughts
Well,
on
this
it?
is a man that I get along with very well. We're largely out of Iraq. We're down to very few soldiers. I said we're getting out of these endless wars, these ridiculous endless wars. We should have never been there in the first place. I think it was the worst decision made in the history of our country. Should have never.
Remember, he went on the Howard Stern show and said he would have gone into Iraq. So that's, this is another revisionist history.
In getting out, it's very sticky getting out, and some people agree, and many people don't agree. But I think most people very much agree. We're doing very well in our negotiations with Afghanistan. We're getting out. We're down to a much smaller number of people left there. And, I greet men and women coming home and coming home after they've been hit. I've also greeted many at Dover, greeted many bodies coming back in. And we've been
Really
there
has a
19
way with
years, and we're
words.
basically policemen. We're acting as police as opposed to soldiers. And they're going to have to police their own states. And they've been doing that for thousands of years. But it's time after 19 years that our soldiers come home. They've done an incredible job, but they're not allowed to fight to win. And maybe they shouldn't be, because a lot of the people, it's not their fault. But with the Taliban and with going to Iraq again, we're down in Afghanistan, very low numbers, and that'll be taking place. And I let them know, do anything and you'll be hit like you've never been hit before.
What?
So we're doing very well. Syria, the same thing. Remember when I took all of the soldiers off of the border between Syria and Turkey, right? And everybody said, oh, that was 2 years ago. It was a long time ago. They said, oh, this is terrible, terrible, terrible. We're going to leave. Why do we have our soldiers between Syria and Turkey? Turkey can definitely take care of itself. I have a very good relationship with President Erdogan, and Syria has been fighting forever. And I say, why are we guarding their border? And I brought our soldiers back home. I got them out, and guess what? Nothing's happened. They've been fighting like they have been for 1,000 years, okay? Nothing's happened. And nobody mentions that. Everybody said, this is going to be a disaster. There's no disaster. Nothing's happened.
What on earth are you talking about?
So we're getting out of the endless wars, and we are building a military the likes of which the world has never seen. $2.5 trillion we've spent, and we hopefully don't ever have to use it. But we want to focus on a much bigger picture, because we have a much bigger picture. It's when you look at what China's doing, when you look at what Russia's doing, when you look at what some other countries are doing, we want to be ready just in case there is a catastrophe. We don't want to see that. We don't want to ever use it.
Okay.
We've rebuilt our military, new missiles, new rockets, and new tanks, and new everything. $2.5 trillion, all made in the USA.
Everything's new.
And we've upgraded incredibly our nuclear capability, and some of our
Do you guys remember the question?
it needed new strength, and we've upgraded it very, very significantly. I mean, to a level that nobody would even believe. And hopefully we don't. You pray to God we never have to use it, okay? But we've never been in a position where we've been this strong. Please.
President, thank you so much. I wanted to ask you about the Middle East. I have a couple questions. You mentioned that other countries are interested in following suit
Yes,
after the
having to do with
Emiratis.
UAE and Israel.
Exactly. So
Correct.
do you expect that Saudi Arabia will join? And
I do.
yes. And also the Emiratis have expressed interest in the F-35. Do you think that should be something that they could look forward to in the future? Is there some sort of time delay?
I think, look, they've definitely got the money to pay for it. It's nice because usually when a lot of times we make deals, they don't have 10 cents, these countries we deal with. We give it to them like, how about paying us back later? But they never pay because they don't have the money. No, they have the money, and they would like to order quite a few F-35s. It's the greatest fighter jet in the world, as you know, by far. Stealth.
Can it go 17 times the speed of sound?
Makes it very difficult. I was asking a pilot, what do you think is better, this one, that one? Talking about Russian planes, Chinese planes. He said, well, the advantage we have is you can't see it.
Right.
So when we're fighting, they can't see us.
Trump literally
I say,
thinks these
that
planes
sounds
are
like a
invisible.
really
Not invisible to radar,
Big
invisible.
advantage to me. To these
Don't
guys,
want them
you know,
to
they
have
look,
it.
by the way, I said, to these pilots that I meet, they look better than Tom Cruise.
Trump's surprised he can even see the pilots. He thought the pilots would be cloaked too.
But these people are amazing, and I speak to them a lot about it. What do you think? You know, as I go around to the various places, I saved the big one in Florida as an example. That was a big one, knocked down pretty much by the hurricane. So I spent a lot of time on that, and it's the greatest plane in the world. One thing about that kind of thing, technology, high technology, greatest plane doesn't last long. Somebody comes up with something else, but we're always the one to come up with something else. So, yeah, they'd like to buy F-35s. We'll see what happens. It's under review, but they made a great They're
going to look at it very strongly, right?
In peace in the Middle East. Even the New York Times thought it was an incredible deal. Can you imagine that? Tom Friedman had a very nice thing to say about it. I spoke to him about it. He thought it was terrific, and it is terrific. I see a lot of countries coming in fairly quickly, and when you have them all in, ultimately Iran will come into. There'll be peace in the Middle East. That'll be nice. Iran will be very much neutralized.
Yep.
They never thought this could have happened. And with the horrendously stupid Iran deal signed by Obama,
and Sleepy Joe.
this could have never happened.
Really, there's so
On the Goodyear issue, you ride on Goodyear tires in the presidential limousine.
Correct.
If there were an alternative, would you want those tires swapped out?
Yeah, I would do that. I would swap them out based
Nice
on what
question.
I heard. We'll see what happens. Look, you're going to have a lot of people not wanting to buy that product anymore, and they'll buy from a competitor. Made in the USA too. Okay, please.
He's going to switch to Toys R Us tires.
excerpts from Obama's speech that he'll give later at the Democratic convention show that he says that he hoped that you would take being president more seriously once you had the job and discover reverence for democracy. And then he said, I quote, "but he never did." What is your reaction to
You
that?
know, when I listen to that and then I see the horror
Hara.
that he's left us, the stupidity
Ooh.
of the transactions that he made. Look what we're doing. We have our great border wall. We have security.
Border.
We have
Dropping a lot of ours today.
the UAE deal, which has been universally praised by people that aren't exactly fans of Donald Trump for various reasons. I don't know why. Can't be my personality, but they're not fans, right? And when I look at what we
Plasma,
have,
yeah.
and I look at how bad he was, how ineffective a president he was so ineffective, so terrible. Slowest growing recovery in the history, I guess, since 1929.
Can you
when the
imagine a dumber claim than this?
China virus came in, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world. And now we're doing it again. I'm going to have to do it a second time. We're doing it again. Hard to believe. We're doing very well. You heard the numbers. They're way, way down on the virus. But when you look at the kind of numbers that we're producing on the stock markets, we're almost at the level. In fact, NASDAQ and S&P are higher than they were at their highest point prior to the China virus coming and the plague coming in. Now, President Obama did not do a good job. And
On
the
what?
reason I'm here is because of President Obama and Joe Biden. Because if they did a good job, I wouldn't be here. And probably if they did a good job, I wouldn't have even run. I would have been very happy. I enjoyed my previous life very much.
Well,
But
maybe
they
he can return to it very soon.
stand before you as president. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
What a ridiculous I mean, for me, the craziest moment was where he said positive things about QAnon. That, I think, was sort of like the highlight for me. Unbelievable. Listen, guys, I'm back in just over 2 hours with night 3 of the DNC. If you want to be notified when I go live, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. There's 23,000 people watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button so that you'll be notified when I go live in just a couple of hours. I will see everybody then, very strongly, as you know.